Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick review of a product that I recently fell in love with, much to my chagrin. I mean, I totally resisted this product for so long. I did not want to try it just because it is kind of expensive, and I did already have a favorite product in the same category that I just didn't think it could replace. And that is the Anastasia Brow Wiz Brow Pencils. Now, you guys know that I'm obsessed with my brows. I've always been obsessed. Like, that's the very first thing I started out with in makeup, was filling in my brows. And from then, so for the last 3-4 years, I've been using the MAC brow pencils. And I use either stud or spike, depending on the intensity I want it. Now, I've recently branched out and even tried the Tarte Emphasize brow pencils, which I like because it is waterproof. Now, I went ahead and picked up the Anastasia Brow Wiz just because I wanted to see what the hype was about, and yeah, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So, first I'll go into a demonstration of how it works, as usual with my reviews, so you can get a feel for the product and see if it's something you'd be interested in trying out yourself. Okay, so I'm not sure you can actually tell, but one brow is actually already filled in with the brow pencil, and I'm going to show you how I fill in the other brow. Now, my brows are a little bit more full. I've grown them out quite a bit, so they're much fuller and there's not as much to fill in anymore. I do need to extend my tip, and this pencil comes in handy for that, and it also comes in handy for filling in some of the sparse areas that are throughout my brow. So I'll show you how I fill in my brows with this pencil. Because of the fine tip, I'm able to do quick strokes through my brow, and it mimics the actual shape and thinness of eyebrow hairs. So it's easy to fill it in and keep it looking natural, or as natural as filled in brows can look. So I just do feather hair strokes throughout my brows and pull it down, pull the product down. The pencil deposits enough color without being overwhelming, so you don't have to worry about like grease brows or greasy looking brows where too much product is deposited. Then if you want to do full lines like I do at my tip or the tail ends of my brow, I just pull the pencil along my actual skin and it gives me a good solid line. So that's how I fill in my brows with this pencil, and as you can see, it's easy to do hair-like strokes and get a very natural finish. And at the end we have a spoolie so we can work it through the brows so we can soften the color a bit if we get too intense with the color through the brows. So that's how quick I fill in my brows with this pencil. Okay, so now that you've seen a demonstration of the product and you've seen it at work and see just how I use it, let's go into the little nitty-gritty details or the pros and cons of the actual product. So one of the first things I wanted to show you guys is how the actual brow pencil size measures up to the other two in my collection. So the Anastasia is this one here all the way over to the left, and in the middle we have the MAC brow pencil, and at the end we have the Tarte Emphasize brow pencil. And as you can see, the Anastasia brow pencil is definitely smaller than the other two, but it's not significantly smaller where it's going to be kind of obvious to the naked eye. Almost like if you don't zoom in and really focus and in on the actual size, you won't necessarily be able to tell a difference. But the Anastasia pencil itself is about 2/3 the size of the other two, so it gives thinner lines, and I think that's more obvious in an actual pencil stroke test. So see if you can tell the difference. It is smaller, but it's not significantly smaller. Now here on the back of my hands, I did the thinnest lines I could with all three pencils. The left line, the leftmost line, is the Anastasia brow pencil. In the middle we have the Tarte Emphasize Eyes brow pencil, and on the end we have, on the right, we have the MAC brow pencil. As you can see, you can get pretty thin lines from all three, but the Anastasia one gives you much better control and much better ease at creating a really thin line. And that also has to do with the formula of the actual pencil, because it's drier and it has less pull and it won't deposit as much color, so the line itself will also be less extreme or less intense in color payoff. So that's how the thin strokes look from all three pencils. So let's go into the actual pencil itself. It's a dual-ended pencil, so it has two sides. One side is the actual pencil, and it is retractable, meaning that you can advance the pencil, and if you have too much or you need to bring it back a little bit, you can also retract it. Not every pencil is like that. The MAC Brow Pencil and the Tarte Amazonian pencils, you can only advance them, but you can't bring them back. So if you have too much, it's probably going to break off, and you can't bring it back down to save your product. But with this Anastasia Brow Pencil, it has the retractable pencil, which is actually a pro for me. It's actually a great benefit. On the other side, it has a small spoolie brush, which you can use to groom your brows and also to disperse the product throughout your brows, which is also a great bonus, so you don't have to go and get a separate spoolie. So that's what the pencil looks like. It has various colors that you can get. For me, I use Brunette, and I find that Anastasia actually has more natural brow colors. So from the other brands, you can find brow colors that can probably match your color, but for the Anastasia ones, I find that they're more natural in that they're softer and they blend in more seamlessly with the natural hairs. While the Tarte and the MAC brow colors, some people have trouble finding colors and can find that the actual shades are a little bit too stark or too intense for their actual brows. So if you have trouble finding colors for your brows, check out the Brow Wiz, because the color variation and variety is actually excellent and it matches up with natural brow colors. Now the actual amount of product in this is 0.08 grams or 0.003 ounces, and that compares to the Tarte, which has 0.001 ounces. So this is a third of the product that is actually in this pencil, which is hard to believe because it's much longer or whatever, but you actually get 3 times more product in the Anastasia brow pencil over the Tarte. Now for the MAC brow pencils, the MAC brow pencils has 0.09 grams or 0.03. I don't know how they did that calculation, but it's about the same amount of product, but the MAC pencil has a little bit more. As far as price goes, this is $20, which is why I was resistant at first to like it, because I go through brow pencils like crazy. Like, I'll go through a whole brow pencil a month, and to spend $20 each time, it was kind of like painful for me to do. The MAC brow pencils are actually $15, so it's $5 cheaper, and you get the same amount of product. So again, you see why I was resistant. The Tarte emphasized brow pencils are actually $19.50, so 50 cents you're saving, and you're getting a third of the amount of product. So there's no competition there. Next, the actual point of the pencil, it's really small, it's really thin, so it allows for greater control over the product I apply, and it also allows me to apply light, feathery strokes to give a more natural appearance to my brows. Plus, it comes with a spoolie, which the MAC brow pencil does not, and I totally showed the wrong side. But it comes with a spoolie, which is a great bonus for this. Now, what about the actual pencil itself? I find that the actual pencil itself glides on really well onto your skin. It's smooth without being greasy or without being too slick. That means it doesn't deposit too much color at once. It doesn't give you this overwhelming intense color that is harder to blend out. It actually gives you almost like the perfect amount of color just for your brows. And I find that the thin point is great for control, like I said before, and drawing really thin lines, and I find the color match just impeccable. So I definitely recommend this pencil if you're trying to find a pencil, a brow pencil that has great control, has great color, a great color range. Definitely check out the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It's a little bit steep in price, and that's the only thing that held me back from purchasing these. But once I did, and once I've used them, I fell in love, and now I can't do without them. So hopefully this review has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.